Hello. Now I was going to be working today recording some of those videos that I've been talking about in the newsletter, but as you can probably hear it's howling a gale outside, and as I'm a bit of a perfectionist I didn't want the background noise on those videos. So it's not a problem, it's not going to delay them because luckily I had some writing that I was going to do next week anyway, so I've just moved things around, so I'll do the writing today and record the videos on the day I was going to do the writing. But since I was all G'd up ready to do some recording, I thought I'd give you a quick update on what the videos are like, what they're going to be. So the videos that play on your PC, and you can see me showing you how to do various things on your computer. You'll actually see my computer screen, and you'll be able to see the mouse moving and everything like that. And I'll talk you through what I'm doing as I do it. So I'll explain what I'm clicking on and why and how it all works. What do they cover? Well, they don't cover the very basics. They don't cover things like how to use the mouse, how to use the keyboard, the very basics, how to, say, close a window down. That's already covered in a set of videos I did called How to Tame Your PC, 6 Easy Lessons. And it's also covered in the Computers One Step at a Time book. So these videos in a way follow on from either that set of videos, Tame Your PC, or from the book, One Step at a Time. For example, I've got a bit of a list here because I can't remember all of the things that are in them, but they include a bit about how to use Word, and that's both the basics and some more advanced things like how to use templates to make an invitation or a leaflet for a local club event that looks really good without spending much time on it, and how to use things like mail merge in Word as well, which you can use either for letters, you write one letter and then it'll mail merge different names and addresses into it, or to very easily produce a whole load of sticky labels, maybe for addressing Christmas cards. It also covers how to do that if you don't have Word, by the way. There's another program you can use for producing labels. A bit of basic photo editing, and that includes the program that I use to edit my photos. It's not one of the big commercial ones, or one of the famous ones. It's something else I've found, and it has the advantage of being free. I can't actually remember what it's called. It's not one of the serif ones, if you've ever used those. I've used the serif ones and they're quite good, but I've recently, in the last month or two, found something else that I prefer. Then the videos also cover Media Player and everything about how to use that to play CDs, to make your own music CDs from songs from different CDs or records. There's a 7-point health check for your PC. 7 things I think everyone should make sure of on a computer. And that's particularly useful if your PC starts playing up, or if it starts going slowly. If you do these 7 things, then there's a good chance you'll get it working better again. But they say prevention is the best kind of medicine. It's always a good idea to do these 7 things, even when your computer's running well, just to make sure it stays running well. I don't always remember to myself, but I try to. Then there's a little bit about email, or quite a bit about email, some of the more fancy bits, not just how to send an email, but how to make it a bit fancier, and some of the things that you can do with Outlook Express or Windows Mail, whichever you have, and a bit about spam and how to cut down on it as much as possible. Then there's also a bit about all things Google. Google used to be just a search website, search engine. Now they do a lot of other things as well. So there's Google Maps, there's the overhead photos of anywhere in the country, there's Street View where you can see photos from street level of almost anywhere in the country, and there's a variety of other things they do as well, maps of the sky and all sorts. So I'll go through how to use all of those. Then Flickr, which is a website for sharing photos, YouTube, and finally I'll talk a bit about Facebook and how to use that. Several people have been asking me about how you use it, trying to understand exactly what it is. It's called a social networking site, but that doesn't really make things very much clearer. So I'll talk a bit about what it is and how you can use it and why you might want to use it. People have been asking me to do that for quite a while, and I'm finally getting around to it now. And there's quite a bit of other stuff as well. I can't give you a full list of it now, not least because I haven't finished recording them. But also there's quite a bit there, so it would take a while to go through everything that's going to be covered. I'll give you more information when I've more nearly finished them. So I've also come across a couple of websites in the last couple of weeks that I thought you might be interested in. So I thought I'd show you those and how they work. So I'll just go over to the computer and show you that now.
So there are a couple of websites I'd like to show you. I'll start up Internet Explorer. And the first one you might have heard about in the newspapers. It's called the Crime Maps website. And it's at www.police.uk. And this is a little bit tricky because there's no .co, it's just police.uk, not police.co.uk. So just to try and confuse you. So it takes you to this website. And if you type in a postcode or a place name, it takes you to a page all about that area. So it gives you a list of all the people in your police team, your neighbourhood policing team. And then if you scroll down, you can also read what your police have got to say at the moment and when the next events are in your area. But the bit that everyone's talking about is this bit on the right, the crime map. If you click on that, it gives you a map of the area listing all of the crimes that took place in the last month. So, well, it's a little bit out of date. So this is December 2010. It takes them a while to get the information together. So you can see what all the crimes were. So in total, there were 32 in this area. 19 of them were antisocial behaviour, 4 were violent crime, and 9 were other crime, which is a little bit vague. And you can see on the map where they were. And use this slider to zoom in. You can actually see a bit better exactly where they were. And over here, if you click on one particular type, let's click on other crime, you can see exactly where each type of crime occurred. And you can zoom in a bit further if you like. So I wanted to show you this because there's been a lot of talk about it. The government have trumpeted it as a way of sharing information with the public, and the press have been writing all about it as well. But I thought I'd show you how you actually use it and how you can look at exactly where crimes are taking place. There are a few disadvantages to it. It would be nice to see how things are changing and hopefully getting better, but it only shows you one particular month, so you can't see how it's changed unless you can remember what it was like the previous month. And the other disadvantage is apparently it took £300,000 to develop, and I'm not sure I'd pay £300,000 for this. But all the same, it's quite interesting to be able to look at your area or different areas and see what the situation is. So that's the first website I wanted to show you. The second one's a bit more cultural. So I want to go to www.googleartproject.com. And this is Google's latest thing. They're always bringing out new things that they've come up with. And this is where you can actually go around various different art museums of the world on your computer. So let's pick from this list, let's pick the Palace of Versailles. So if I click on that one, I then get a choice here on the right. I can either go straight into looking at the paintings that are in Versailles, or I can explore the museum. Let's click on Explore the Museum. And if you've used Google Street View, you'll be quite familiar with this. It works in the same way as Street View, but instead of wandering around the streets, you're wandering around that museum. So for example, I can hold down the mouse button and drag to turn where I'm looking. I can click on one of these little arrows on the ground to move in that direction. Obviously, the faster your internet connection, the faster it will move from one place to another and the more smoothly it'll do it. And if there's a particular part of the floor I want to stand on, I can point the mouse at it, you see a little circle appears, then if I double click the mouse, it'll go and stand wherever I've double clicked. So you can see these paintings as you walk around. But then if there's one that you want to have a closer look at, if you point at this little plus sign and click on it, it shows you just the painting in a straight-on view. And you can actually zoom in and look at a particular detail using this little picture on the right. You just click on and drag this little slider and you can zoom in as much as you like. And then you can choose which bit you're looking at by, again, clicking on this little version of the picture, holding down the button and dragging it about. And they've made sure these scans are very high resolution, so you can scan right in and see all the detail. You can also choose from this drop-down list, you can choose any particular painting from within the museum you're in, Versailles in this case, just by clicking on the list rather than by wandering around the museum. And again, I can zoom in on that, have a closer look. It's quite amazing the detail they've put into being able to scan these so well that you can zoom in so closely and see all these tiny little details. And again, from over here, you can choose a different museum if you like from this list without going back to that first page. And they're literally from all over the world. So I've just hopped across from Versailles to Moscow now. And again, I can just click on the plus sign if I want to have a look at that particular painting a bit closer. Sometimes when you first zoom in, it goes a bit grainy, but if you just wait a few seconds, it'll load the rest of the detail. And then you get the full detail. And you can get information here. So it tells you a bit about the painting you're looking at. And there's even some viewing notes that tell you a bit more detail. And you can get rid of that again by clicking on the eye for information. Anyway, these are two new websites that have recently come out, and I thought I'd let you know about them because I found them quite interesting, and I thought some of you might too.
So I hope you found that interesting. Maybe if it does prove popular, I might do some more video clips like this in the newsletter in the future. I'll always keep a lot of the written articles in the newsletter, but I might add in the odd video clip like this just for a bit of variety. Hopefully if I do, I'll be able to record them on a day when it isn't quite as blustery as today, so there won't be so much background noise. You've got the noise both of the wind and of the sea, because I live only about 3 minutes away from the sea, and the waves are pounding in and creating quite a racket. So I'll try to record them on quiet days in the future. So thanks for listening, and I'd better get back to that writing that I originally said I was going to be doing next week, but I've moved around to today.